Here's your wrestling news for August 19th, 2021, and your headlines for today include: WWE announces major multi-year podcasting partnership. Goldberg only has 2 matches left in current WWE contract. Bobby Lashley to face Jake Hager in Bellator. WWE announces musical guest for SummerSlam. CM Punk's AEW debut has TNT making big plans. Kenny Omega drops big CM Punk tease during AEW Dynamite. Former WWE wrestler's health situation is worse than previously thought. Sammy Guevara proposes marriage to girlfriend before AEW Dynamite. Major update concerning Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair WWE SummerSlam match. WWE hired 2 big names as full-time backstage producers. Malakai Black match and more booked for AEW Dynamite next week. WWE wrestler suffered broken neck, and more. We're kicking off with WWE, and in 2019, the company got into the podcasting world with Corey Graves after The Bell Show, and have had great success with the New Day's Feel the Power series. Now, more shows are coming from WWE, as this week, a huge deal was announced between the company and Spotify. More specifically, WWE will partner with The Ringer, which will rebrand as The Ringer Wrestling Show, and The Bump's Evan Mack will have his own show called Mac Mania. In a statement, WWE President Nick Khan praised The Ringer, saying that this deal with Spotify will introduce millions of listeners to WWE content in a lucrative deal with the music streaming service. So far, no details have been announced about any new shows that'll be hosted by the superstars themselves, but listeners will soon have more WWE content to listen to exclusively on Spotify. SummerSlam news now, as Bill Goldberg will challenge for the WWE Championship on this Saturday's show, in one of the last times fans will ever see him in the ring. Appearing on the bump to promote this weekend's event, Goldberg said he's not rooting for either John Cena or Roman Reigns, as he wants to face both men in the ring. It was then that Goldberg announced that he only has 2 matches left on his current contract, and given that he's only contracted for 2 matches a year, that means his current deal will end at the end of 2022. With WWE cutting costs across the company and Goldberg being one of the company's best-paid performers, it's possible that Vince McMahon may be unwilling to open his checkbook for the former Universal Champion. Add to that the fact that Goldberg hasn't exactly won over crowds, who believe he's both too old and undeserving of the world title matches he's received this year, and it's entirely possible that next year will be Goldberg's last in WWE. Goldberg's opponent this Saturday is WWE Champion Bobby Lashley, who before returning to WWE in 2018 competed in MMA, accumulating an impressive 15-2 record. Fighting primarily for Bellator, Lashley has proven himself in the ring and the octagon, but he's not the only wrestler to compete in MMA. Speaking to the Battleground podcast, the WWE Champion discussed his MMA career and his hopes of an interpromotional fight he wants with a certain AEW star. Jake Hager, I think he's doing great. I think he's moving up. I would definitely do it. It's not one of those things that I want to call him out, but it would be a cool fight and definitely entertaining. Lashley added that he's sure wrestling fans would love to see the 2 wrestlers from different companies face off, and we'd have to agree. Of course, there's several obstacles that both AEW and WWE would have to overcome to make this fight happen, but perhaps this dream fight will happen one day. The Lashley-Goldberg match will definitely be a big deal at this Saturday's SummerSlam, which will also feature a musical performance. On social media, WWE revealed that DJ Valentino Khan, no relation to either Nick or Tony, will perform at SummerSlam and will welcome fans with music as they arrive at Allegiant Stadium. Khan is an LA-based DJ and a huge wrestling fan, and with this year's show, the first SummerSlam to air from an NFL stadium, WWE is going all out to make this the biggest show of the year. Over to AEW, and this Friday should mark the debut of CM Punk on Rampage if the reports of him signing are true. Punk is arguably the company's biggest signing ever, so it's no surprise that his name is being discussed by the executives of TNT, who are excited to bring him on board. That's according to Fightful, who report that those at TNT and Warner Media are excited for Punk's debut this week and are very aware of the marketing possibilities that signing him will bring. It said that Punk will have TNT's entire promotion machine behind him upon his debut, and a tie-in with the Chicago Bulls, as he's set to debut at the United Center this Friday, is already being discussed. As we previously reported, Punk is slated to wrestle 10 to 12 times a year in AEW, but will be on the show every single week. And with the entire promotion machine behind him, fans will be seeing plenty of Punk if he debuts. Last night's Dynamite was the final AEW show of the pre-Punk era, and AEW World Champion Kenny Omega wasn't afraid to drop a major tease during the show. When Omega came out during the AEW World Tag Team title match planning to get involved with a chair, he was wearing a Chick Magnet t-shirt, which is what the CM and CM Punk originally stood for when he started his career. Now, if you ask what it stands for, Punk will joke about it and give a random answer, but that's what it originally meant, something Omega knows all too well. This isn't the first time Omega has teased Punk's debut on TV, as last week he wore a Cookie Monster shirt on Dynamite, another CM initialization that Punk has claimed is what his name stands for. It's always possible that Omega was just trolling fans, but between these shirts, the reports, and the fact that TNT are ready to promote the former WWE champion, all signs point to an epic debut at the United Center this Friday. Earlier this month, we reported that wrestling legend Brian Knobbs wasn't doing so well, and that a GoFundMe had been set up to help his family out. That GoFundMe reports that Knobbs is dealing with severe stomach issues, and that his one remaining good knee has finally given out and will require surgery, but things are sadly worse than first believed. On his 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff said he does know the complexities of Brian's condition, and said that the situation is, quote, much more serious than what's been posted on the donation website. We are continuing to send our best to Knobbs as he continues to fight this difficult situation, which is sadly even worse than the original set of circumstances, which already seemed very dire. More from AEW, as last night's Dynamite was a huge show in Houston, but even before the show went live, Sammy Guevara made a blockbuster announcement. Speaking in his hometown, Guevara invited his girlfriend Pam into the ring, and after speaking about his love for wrestling and her, popped the question in the middle of the squared circle. She said yes, and the Houston crowd popped in a big way, and footage of the proposal was aired prior to Guevara's match with Shawn Spears. During that match, Spears got some serious heel heat by beating up the Spanish God in front of his fiancée, and we're sending our congratulations to Guevara and Pam at this joyous occasion. Back to WWE, and one of the marquee matches for this weekend's SummerSlam will see SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks in a rematch from their WrestleMania Night 1 main event. That match was in jeopardy of not happening recently, as both champion and challenger were pulled from a pair of house shows due to unforeseen circumstances, but it appears that these circumstances have now been resolved. According to PW Insider, their title match is still on, and both women have been cleared to perform this Saturday and will also be on this Friday's SmackDown. It's also been reported that both women showed symptoms of C19, which led to them being pulled from action and tested, and those tests thankfully came back negative. WWE didn't want to take any chances, which is why both women were pulled from the shows in Charlotte and South Columbus, as the company wanted to wait until they had a result before making any kind of announcement. As one of WWE's longest storylines of 2021, we're pleased that the match hasn't had to be postponed, and fans can expect their highly anticipated rematch to happen this Saturday as originally planned. Backstage in WWE, a ton of talented veterans work together to make the shows happen, and now 2 more former wrestlers have joined on a full-time basis. Earlier this year, Hall of Famer Molly Holly began learning the ropes as a producer and worked on both Raw and SmackDown, and now PW Insider reports that she's been hired full-time by WWE. The former women's champion isn't the only notable hiring, as Sean Daivari was recently rehired by the company after he was let go last year, and he's also now back full-time. With WWE returning to touring, it makes sense that they'd need more producers, and how Holly and Daivari will bring their years in the ring to provide a new outlook in shaping future matches. Back to AEW, as Malakai Black will be in action next week, as Brock Anderson is looking to avenge Cody Rhodes for the beating he received by the former NXT champion. Brock's father, Arn Anderson, isn't a fan of this match, but will still be in his son's corner, and that's not all confirmed for next week's Dynamite. Jamie Hayter will have her return match for AEW when she faces Red Velvet, while the Varsity Blondes will take on the Lucha Bros in a tournament match to earn an AEW World Tag Team title match at All Out. Orange Cassidy will also be in action when he takes on Big Money Matt Hardy, and with CM Punk possibly appearing on next week's Dynamite, as he's set to debut tomorrow night on Rampage, next Wednesday's show will be one to tune in for. And we're ending today with Bo Dallas, who was released from WWE earlier this year after spending much of his time away from TV. Dallas's last televised match was in October 2019 at Crown Jewel, and in his absence, he worked backstage, testing equipment, and was used in a WrestleMania test match before his release. Speaking during a virtual signing event for the High Spots Wrestling Network, Dallas discussed his last appearance on SmackDown, where he was in a segment with Braun Strowman and revealed that he worked alongside the Monster Among Men with a broken neck. "I had a broken neck in that segment. Wear this whole construction thing so they would have to take me out for over a year, or my neck had already started to heal incorrectly, but it started to heal and I had the opportunity to rebuild the muscles." Bo added that it took about 9 months, but he finally got his neck to 100%. But by that point, WWE had been forced to host shows without any fans present, and things had gotten chaotic. The former NXT champion also stressed that his wrestling career isn't done yet, and he's excited to see what's next. But sadly, Bo's talents went underutilized in WWE despite working with a broken neck. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.